Hey, Jason Seiden here. I'm standing in front of a painting that was made by my grandmother, Zelda. Nan is 104 years old right now. She turns 105 this year. This painting is probably older than I am. And I'm almost 50. And here it is, giving joy, right? Like time doesn't matter for art. And I thought it was appropriate to do this video here because what I wanted to talk about was how sometimes time doesn't matter. I just got off the phone with a friend of mine. I haven't talked to him in 4 or 5 years. And we picked up right where we left off, spoke for an hour. It was a great conversation. Earlier this week, same thing. Colleague of mine from way back who I was friendly with and then became friends with and have stayed in touch with. I've been following his career on LinkedIn. We talk periodically. I reached out. He's had some really good stuff happen to him lately. And I'm like, hey, looks like you got some good stuff. What's going on? And I got a real answer back. And I so appreciated that, I didn't get the brush off. It was like we had just had breakfast and I was checking in. I got just a legit answer. And so we had a little back and forth about that. And he's on vacation. And I got a very thoughtful note. He's on vacation. He's at a place that's meaningful to me. And he's down in Sanibel. So if you're watching these videos, you know why it's important to me. And I loved it. And we're going to get together for coffee when he gets back in town. And I kind of realized time doesn't matter for friendships either. And maybe this is a little bit, I'm just getting old enough to have relationships that are this old. Some of it may be, my own maturity and growth that, I don't worry about time that's passed. And some of it may be just kind of where we are. I think society came out of quarantine here's my quarantine story, right? A month or two in, I sent out 2 emails, one to somebody I hadn't talked to in a while and one person who I hadn't spoken to in a couple weeks. And the person I hadn't spoken to in a while, we're talking years. And I said, hey, we haven't talked in a while. Would love to catch up. How are you? And it made me think of this other person I had just spoken to a few weeks before. And I said, sup? I got 2 responses back. The person I thought I hadn't talked to in years wrote back saying, yeah, it's wild how quarantine can make a month feel like, forever. Checked my calendar. Sure enough, I had just talked to the person a month ago. The person who I thought I had talked to 3 weeks ago wrote back, I love that you can just send me a 1-word sup, like, yeah, you know what? We haven't talked in a year. Doesn't matter. We just pick right back up. I got them completely backwards, and it did not get better during quarantine. So, I think maybe some of it is that inability to figure out what day of the week it is hit us all. And frankly, I think it's a good thing because I've realized your tribe, time doesn't matter. You shouldn't take them for granted. It's not like you shouldn't call your friends. It's more that if they're really your friends, that when you call, they'll assume good intent. They'll assume you were busy and you've had a life, and they'll be eager to hear about what you've been doing with your time. They won't be really upset that they haven't had a front row seat for it. They'll be more excited to just take you where you are when you're there. And I know I've been on the receiving end of some of that lately. I've been on the giving end of some of that lately, and it feels good. So I hope you find your tribe. And I'm kind of excited about the idea that you could actually find your tribe across time. That some of the people in your tribe might be folks you haven't talked to in a while, but they'll be right there to pick up where you left off as soon as you reach out. So reach out to an old friend or respond to somebody who reaches out to you. I don't know, just share the love. And I don't know, I find this really comforting. So I hope you do too. Love you. I'll see you next week.